Welcome to today's episode of the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View, where I have an executive conversation with Dr. Noreen Connolly, the founder of IV Hub Wellness. In the conversation, we explore experiences that shape the brand, her philosophy guiding its growth, and what she believes every prospective franchise owner should understand before making an investment decision. If you're considering IV Hub Wellness, or simply want to hear how thoughtful founders approach franchising, I think you'll enjoy our conversation. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you know who might be interested. Thank you for joining us today on the Franchisee Successful View. And I am honored to be working with Noreen Connolly today and talking with her about IV Hub Wellness. So, Noreen, welcome and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Luke, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to talk with you, and I just absolutely admire the concept that you've come up with. So tell us, how did IV Hub Wellness get started?
We started during COVID and we did mobile home visits during that time. And after a while, that kind of wears on you because once COVID ended, the traffic came back, the parking issues came back. I felt like it was a good time to open a brick and mortar location. So the interesting fact is I live on the South Shore of Massachusetts, but I opened the brick and mortar location on the North Shore of Massachusetts because if I failed, I didn't want people in my community knowing that I failed. I wanted to fail outside of my own community. So if that makes sense, I don't know. And so I picked a salon suite model for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't have the budget for like a huge build out like a lot of these other places have, and I knew a salon suite was a nice community. I'd never didn't have much experience with them, but looking back, it was a great decision. Really was to be in a salon suite model.
Well, fantastic. And let's take a step back of why did you start IV Hub Wellness to begin with?
So I've been a nurse for a really long time, a nurse practitioner for a long time, and all I saw was putting fires out and people who never could get ahead of wellness. They were always like treating something that was already out of the barn, it was already done. So I thought there's got to be a better way to, help prevent these things. And um, that's exactly why I chose the path I chose because prevention is, the best way. And that's what I've learned. And I've learned so much about health and how to stay healthy, the seven pillars of health. It's really been amazing, an amazing journey.
And how do you continue educating yourself on, learning new things for the
Oh, all the
wellness
time.
community?
I'm always taking new classes. I'm always reading new books. I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of everything that's, going on in the wellness world.
And you talked a little bit about going the salon suites route instead
Yeah.
of having your own brick and mortar. Talk a little bit more about your experience with working with salon suites.
So salon suites, the beauty of it is, like I said, you don't need a build out loan. The heat is paid for. You don't have to shovel in the winter. That's taken care of. If there's a problem, you call the landlord. It's not me that has to, deal with it. But the community that's formed, like a lot of us in the salon suite share clients. Um, our our other neighbors in the salon suite, you become good friends with them. They refer their clients. Their clients see their transformation after these people we've had hairdressers that have worked with us and have looked amazing, and that had then their clients come to us, and so it's a really good referral base for anyone in a salon suite.
Hmm.
We
And
refer, we mutually refer to each other.
sure, that's a great marketing strategy. And
Right.
in the Medford location, which is your corporate location, how many other how many other uh, tenants, for lack of a better word, are in that
Um, I
specific
believe
salon
it's
suite?
like 36 to 40 other people that own businesses in that building.
Hmm.
So,
And what are the challenges of working with the salon suites as opposed to your own brick and mortar?
oh, I'd say one big challenge is we can't put our sign out front because if we want to put our sign out front, for the other 40 other people want to put their sign out front. So, I'd say that's a big challenge. Um, that's why advertising and posting on social media is so important so people can see you. Um, yeah, I'd say that's the number one thing.
And how did you grow your business from the very first day that you started in the salon suites to where you are today?
By adding different services on, we added weight loss. We started with IV therapy, then we added weight loss, then we added hormones, then we added peptides, things like that. So we've always added on service lines, and that's helped us grow.
Hmm. And how did you find your clients? How did they
A
come to know
lot, a
about you?
lot of times it's word of mouth, or Instagram. Those are the two number one ways. I ran TV ads. I got one person. I spent a lot of money. I got one person. I do run Instagram ads too.
Hmm. If you were to guess, what's the radius of where your clients live compared to where your salon suites is? How far are they traveling to come to see you?
I know that people in general won't drive more than 15 minutes to go somewhere. So I'd say a 15-minute radius, however many miles that is with traffic and stuff, maybe 15 miles. But yeah, people don't want to travel more than 15 minutes somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's why we've spaced our locations like 15 minutes apart for that reason.
Hmm. And as you're as you're continuing to grow that Medford location, what prompted you to say, man, I can franchise this and grow by adding franchise partners?
I noticed that no one in my industry had a salon suite model, so I knew I was different. I was an outlier, and I thought this would be a good, easy business for other healthcare professionals to start who don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your first step to finding out how to franchise an independent business?
I had to open up other locations to make sure they were successful. And that was proof of concept. So I was able to do that. And I opened 3 locations on my own. So that's how it
Hmm.
started.
Hmm. And if I remember correctly, one of those three locations is now owned by a franchise partner, correct?
Yes, Jessica was a nurse that worked in Medford and she bought the Burlington location.
Yeah. And that leads us right into what type of franchise partner are you currently looking for as you grow your business?
Someone who has a great personality, who can follow direction, um, who wants to learn, who's eager to learn, and is able to follow a system.
Mhm.
Someone who's really health conscious and really interested in health and prevention and things like that.
And how critical is it for the owner to have the skills of giving an IV or an injection, or how
Um,
important is that?
they don't need to, they hire someone that can do that for them.
Outstanding.
Mhm.
And how do you see IV Hub Wellness growing in the next 6 months to a year to 18 months? What do you see happening?
I want slow and steady growth because I want to give a lot of attention to each person that signs on. So I want to make sure it's a very slow and steady growth, and the franchisees get a lot of attention and a lot of support because their success is my success. I want them to be successful. They're trusting me, and that's my goal, slow and steady.
Yeah. And that mindset of their success is your success is outstanding in the franchise world. And frankly, it's a little bit rare. Um,
Mhm.
so what else are you doing with your franchise partners on a weekly basis, on an every other week basis, to
Mhm.
learn from each other.
Yeah, we do a weekly mastermind meeting on Thursdays, and we just bring up, issues that one of us has, and we solve it together. And um, that's been something we do weekly. That's been really good.
Mhm. And what are the biggest challenges that your new franchise partners typically see in the first 6 to 9 months?
I guess how to deal with certain clients. Sometimes they get client issues, and some after a while, the client is not that they're common, but things come up and you're already familiar with them. But for someone who's not familiar, we have to kind of guide them on how to work with someone who's maybe difficult or, non-compliant or
Mhm.
so things like that come up. It's just human nature how to deal with people. That can be tough. Not everyone's as good a person as we are, so
Absolutely. And one thing that you've added recently I know about is the lab work so that
right,
you better service your clients. Tell us
absolutely.
tell us about that.
The lab work has been amazing. A lot of times primary care doctors are limited or primary care providers are limited and they can't draw full comprehensive labs. So we look at things that maybe they can't look at with insurance, stop gaps. So we look at insulin levels. A lot of times your insulin level is super high before your other blood sugar levels go high. So there are just certain labs that we do. We can see if you have inflammation. We draw the inflammatory markers. So inflammation in the body is so detrimental, and it's not in your regular labs that you would pick up on that. Um, Vitamin D is another one that's super important. That's not always drawn by a primary care provider. Vitamin D really helps your immunity. If it's low, it can increase your risk of certain cancers in men and women. So that's a super important one that isn't always picked up by the primary care, but
Mhm.
that's something that we draw that really helps people advance their health.
And having that lab work results in front of you with the patient, how are you better able to serve that client?
It's amazing because we come up with an individualized plan for that client. And then when we recheck the labs, we can just see the progress that they made with what we recommended. So that's
Mhm.
been an amazing addition.
Look ahead 3 to 6 to 9 months.
Hmm.
What do you see happening with IV Hub Wellness?
Um, well, our goal is to be in other states besides Massachusetts. My goal is for the franchisees to be flourishing and successful and um, just, all of us to grow together in, a slow, easy path that slow and steady so everyone feels supported and feels like successful and they're doing well.
Very good.
All
Well,
right.
Noreen, thank you for joining us today on the
All right. Thank
successful
you,
on the
Luke, for having me.
and please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to find out more about Noreen as she progresses through her franchising experience.